moral ones. And when you lie about a grieving widow, you're not exposing truth, you're partnering with darkness.
They are trying to replace Usha Vance with Erica Kirk, because Erica Kirk and JD Vance is their Christian nationalist wet dream. And you won't convince me otherwise.
So let me be clear. We're not going to play into the stupidity of social media spin, and you shouldn't either. We're going to stay with the facts. And we know the people involved, like I said before. We know the truth of their character, and no amount of digital cowardice will change that.
Grace and peace, everybody. We got to talk about this. What a weird chain of events that now this is just strange. I don't even know where to go with how the seeds of confusion, the seeds of discord that have been planted by certain conspiracy theorists have blossomed into an entire forest of sheer foolishness. This doesn't even make sense. Let's bring it in. Let me show you.
We've been with the Kirks ever since we've known them, through the good, the seasons, the bad, the heartbreak. And we want to tell you firsthand that Erica, she's a godly wife. She's a godly widow, and she's a godly mother. And we're still with them. We can tell you firsthand, because we communicate with her, the pain she's carrying is real. The love they shared was real. Whatever people want to say, I'm not some Zionist puppet. I'm not controlled or paid by Turning Point. I just have friends that work there and lead there.
Is he already on the phone with Rob McCoy? What happened? Okay, I need clarification, because every day that goes on, it feels to me like Turning Point is engaged in a cover-up. And there's no other way to say this. There's no other ways. I don't care who at Turning Point tweets. I literally do not care. I will breathe fire on all of you. I know how these events work. Why was this event confirmed so quickly when it was requested so late? Answer these questions. I need answers to these questions to understand what happened on that day. Because the way that Mikey moves is like he knows where he's going. It's like they know where they're going to meet. And we know that they got to the hospital very quickly, because Blake and Neff says elsewhere, they got into the hospital within 25 minutes. Okay. That means they knew instantly where the hospital was. They knew which direction to go to, the communication that's flowing. I think Frank said he was on the phone while they were in the car with his family members. Don't quote me on that. So all of this happened. You instantly got to the hospital, which, by the way, the hospital was put on lockdown when Charlie came in, is what we were told. They let Mikey and the Turning Point boys in. Maybe that's true. It sounds like it is true. Obviously, we know that you were there when they came out and said that Charlie had died, according to Blake Neff, and according to Frank Turek's testimony. But a lot of this little stuff is not making sense. Okay, it's not making sense. And you cannot tell me that to dispel this rumor, right, by letting people see the call logs, by letting people see the video footage, would somehow hurt the case. Because that's the BS they're selling us right now. Like transparency would hurt the case. And like I've said, if transparency would hurt the case, then it's because you don't have a case. Okay, if transparency would hurt the case, it's because you don't have a case. And if you're telling me that your phone logs on that day,
from Andrew to the McCoys to a dear friend, Frank, this should be a time of compassion, not accusation. But social media has become a place where too many people feel brave behind the camera or the mic, saying things they would never say face to face, because there's no consequences. But let me tell you, there are consequences, moral ones. And when you lie about a grieving widow, you're not exposing truth, you're partnering with darkness.
They are trying to replace Usha Vance with Erica Kirk. Because Erica Kirk and JD Vance is their Christian nationalist wet dream. And you won't convince me otherwise. What is this? What is this body language? When did we start putting our hands up in the hair of our friends when we hug? Yeah, no, you don't. This is weird. Oh, and then there's this one. JD, why are your hands so low? There's no reason for them to be on her hips, but there they are. But if that's not enough, here is her introducing him at Turning Point.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
And if you're not convinced yet that they're trying to replace her with Erica Kirk, this is him when asked by a student about him and his wife's difference in like their religious beliefs, and he ends it with this.
Do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way.
He wants her to fall in line. He wants her to be a Christian nationalist, just like him.
So anybody, this is just really weird. Bless this woman's heart, because she really thinks she's cooking. She done found the smoking gun. What in the world? This is some crazy work, man. This is some absolute crazy work. So any desire to see your wife or husband come to saving faith in Christ means you're a Christian nationalist. That's crazy work.
And if he can't convince her, he'll find a new one.
Where'd you get that from?
So let me be clear. We're not going to play into the
Wow.
stupidity of social media spin, and you shouldn't either. We're going to stay with the facts. And we know the people involved, like I said before. We know the truth of their character, and no amount of digital cowardice will change that.
And I want to address this last photo. It has just gone viral about Erica hugging Vice President Vance. She put her hand on his head. And you know what? That's because Erica is a very warm and tender person. She did that to me when I went to hug her, to comfort her in her time of incredible grief.
Well, there it
she
is.
was trying to comfort me.
That was at the funeral home. Everyone grieves differently. So I take into consideration people who knew Charlie and know Erica. They're going to grieve, and sometimes there's anger. They're trying to place it on someone. I get all that. But what I want to tell y'all is stop judging a godly woman who is a widow and a mother to 2 little babies. Mm-hmm. It's evil what people are doing. And please, those of you who stand for righteousness, don't play into this insanity, this evil that's being spread. Shut it down. Share this video so that the truth can get out. And man, I pray to God this will slow the nastiness and evil being spewed on social media right now. We thank you, and God bless y'all.
So let me know what y'all think. Do you think that there's any validity to this idea? I don't even want to it makes no sense. But do you think there's any validity to it, or do you think that that we should, of course, ease up off the pedal, man? Are we doing too much? Are we team too much in our attempts to try to find light, find the truth, and get to the bottom of it? Have we started to really just become insane? Let me know what you think. I find it such a fascinating argument, and I just want to hear what y'all think about it. So down in the comments, let me know. I appreciate y'all rocking with us. Continue to do so. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.